Good afternoon and welcome to your favorite current affairs program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. It's always a delight to have you on the program because every new episode affords us the opportunity to dissect national issues that definitely impact on the country. My name is Ego Sagbonlao. This is the post-Edo 2024 governorship election episode of 60 Minutes Nigeria, and it promises to be exciting, enlightening, and educative. I have in the studio a professor of law, Professor Joe Bodio. Nice to have you. You've not been here for a very long time.
Yeah.
I know Prof is loaded because he has a lot of legal implications that he's going to tell us about this election. I also have in the studio a very renowned clergyman and also an analyst of repute. Bishop Locke of Monabiese, you are welcome.
Bless you, sir.
I know you said a lot before the election, so you have a lot to talk about till after the election. But we're going to take a very brief break to introduce our third guest, who is already in the studio. He's also a very renowned analyst. You need to meet him, and he's here, Dr. Roya Ayemere. Dr. Ayemere, nice to have you with us.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, viewers.
Bishop Locke of Monabiese, it's always a delight to have you in the program.
God bless you, sir.
And of course, Professor Joe Bodio, nice to have you.
Yeah, good afternoon, husband. Good afternoon, our viewers.
Yes. Edo 2024 in retrospect. We are looking at all that happened during the conduct of the just concluded governorship election in Edo State. It's an off-cycle election. And as I speak to you, we've gotten information now that the winner of the election announced by INEC, Senator Mondo Pewolo, the governor-elect of Edo State, and his deputy governor-elect, Dennis Idahosa, both have received certificate of return from INEC in Abuja this morning. That's the latest on the Edo 2024 governorship election. But there are a lot of issues to talk about, a lot of controversies. The PDP has raised allegations of electoral fraud, which is just a summary of it all. Labour Party that took third position because PDP took second, APC first, Labour third. Labour also raised issues. They talked about, they alleged that there was electoral fraud as well, vote buying, and a lot of issues. But my guess will do justice to the discussion. We've also got information that some PDP members are protesting, but I must quickly inform the public that the governor of Edo State, belongs to the PDP. In our broadcasts, said there are other areas that the party can explore to retrieve their mandate. The governor really did not encourage any form of violence. And I hope that residents, PDP faithful, we heed the call of the governor to be peaceful, to remain calm. Okay, we are just going to start from Bishop Locke Monabiese. You are a voter, and you're also a leader of congregations, and your members voted. Now, how would you describe what transpired on Saturday in terms of the conduct of the governorship election?
While the election is peaceful in some areas, the election was not violent, no killing, but the truth is that they were both vote buying. We were buying vote in the field. It showed all the party were just doing the whole thing. I believe that what happened in that election is the highest bidder that got the day. Because people were just sharing money, like I said, the money is now rolling on the floor. And I asked somebody, I said, how much money that is coming up from left and right? Where have we been in this country? he said to me, said, that is election for you. Meaning election, the money rose. After election, money disappeared. That's what happened in that day, on that very day. And after that day, another that happened is that the INEC as body were actually supporting some particular party in a way that we, the masses, do not understand. If you look at the whole thing after everybody vote, they made sure they delay some process of collation and make sure it entered the midnight. And they took some collation results from the center straight to INEC office to make sure they get the rest they done there. And if you ask me as a clergyman, the problem of this country now is not the voter, it's INEC. The INEC as security agent, if these people can stop taking some secret bribe and play open field, I tell you the truth, we have a better Nigeria, a better election, a better government.
Well, it is the personal opinion of Bishop Locke Omonabese. He said he voted, and he's also alleging that these are some of the issues that cropped up during the election. But some persons don't also believe that. They believe that INEC has done its job creditably, and the security agencies have also done their job creditably. Different folks for different, how do they say?
Different strokes.
Different strokes or different folks.
Yeah.
So that's the cliche that comes into place when you discuss things like this.
Yeah.
But let's just get the thought of Professor Joe Bodion. What's your overall assessment of what happened on Saturday?
Okay, thank you very much, Negoza.
Okay.
You know, we've been seeing a lot of elections, and of course, this post-mortem as it is a routine after each election. Of course, you also have the heat up before the election, the pre-election activities, and of course, the pre-election shenanigans, if you wish to describe it as such. But somehow, for me, the election, the unit I had to vote was okay. And I'm happy Bishop has spoken with respect to his own unit. I think for us here panelists, beyond the line of journalist reports, media reports that we have, I think we can only restrict ourselves to what transpired in our respective units. And that is the one we have direct in evidence of what transpired to now use as a dish pin or a benchmark to assess the election. Others we watched on TV and heard from people here say, as it were, as to the role of INEC, as the role of votes being swapped and all that. All these are issues that will come before judicial body if parties decide to ventilate their grievances at the Election Petition Tribunal. So for now, it is a question of hearsay and speculation as usual, because actually Nigeria is now embroiled in a situation where if you win elections, you heap all the praises on the electoral umpire, INEC, the security forces. When you lose, you find one issue with the electoral body or the security agencies. And it has even got to a very sordid stage that even when you now approach the judiciary, which we describe as the last step of the common man, even when you fail to prove your case or you're unable to prove your case due to the technicalities, involving election petitions, you will start castigating and profiling judicial officers who have done their job. Because I imagine that the next stage now, when parties go to the election petition tribunal, if they do, and probably go as far as the Supreme Court, which is the last court in that ladder, if either party that loses eventually will still start blaming the judicial officer. They've left INEC now, they've left the police and other security agencies now, he will be on the judiciary. But I think that politicians should learn to do their job in line with the rules of engagement. And you also know there are fault lines, there are leeways that can be exploited. And so go and do your bit. And when you don't do well, accept defeat. And if you have cause to allege, avoid name calling, at least at the first instance, until you're able to gather enough evidence, get a legal personnel to advise you. It should be too preemptive and judgmental to start saying, I neck this one did that one did that, just because it didn't favor you. Because some of the steps you think are construed in favor of one party may just be what you have misread, and because you already have a preconceived notion, you already have a preconceived impression. Some parties were shouting federal might, but there was also state might too. The state might in terms of the budgetary allocation and the financial war chest that the governor had to do the election too. So no, we should not be quick at name calling. I think that should be the first we should learn as Nigerians.
Okay. Thank you, Prof. We'll come back to you because we have a lot to really talk about in terms of the legal implications of some of the things happening and legal options open to all aggrieved parties in the election. There's a saying that if you flog somebody you cannot stop the person from crying.
Of course.
So that's what Bishop Lucky has just said. And this is what he observed.
Of course,
you know,
of course.
But we have a lot to talk about it. Those who feel aggrieved, who feel that they have to cry, what options are open to them? We're going to come back to you, but let's get the opening remarks of Dr. Roya Imeri. You also voted, and I know you said you were going to wait until your vote counts. So, but what's your general observation of what transpired during the conduct of the election?
Thank you. I think I will toe the line of Bishop.
Okay.
You know, that election day, first and foremost, we give God thanks that the election has come and gone, and we didn't hear of anybody losing his or her life. Though there were pockets of violence.
Okay.
Because even if the media didn't carry it, me, I'm a man of the field. I lead people. Apart from being a pastor of a church, I lead the youth in my local government.
Okay.
And I also have pastors who are heads of ministries who I lead to in Benin.
Okay.
So I was able to make calls. Where I voted, it was peaceful.
Okay.
But there were some things I saw that I wasn't comfortable because, going to vote, I just went, dressing casually and the rest of that. But I saw where a political party where they bought the INEC staff over. That's why I voted. You could see them giving them things. As a matter of fact, even security personnel were collecting money. In fact, when I saw that, I have to move around. I just said, let me know what is going on. I saw where one of the agents was giving. So the security man was even thinking both of us are together. So I was telling him, this money you gave me is not enough. How can you give us this to share? So I looked at him and said, which money are you sharing? That's when he knew that I wasn't part of the agent team. And he just stopped talking. You see, where we are in this nation, like I said, we thank God, but for me, the election process is not the result that matters. It's the process. The major reason why the players of the game are angry is because they do not trust the process. The DG of PDP, he raised an allegation. He said they were locked out. They didn't allow the PDP agent to go into the collection center. What they were supposed to do at the local government level, they took it straight to the state level. By now, I expect INEC to have issued a statement as to why that was done. And those people demand to know. At least, what happened? This is the reason why we moved this collation center to the state level, because according to the Electoral Act, it ought to have been done at the ward level, from ward level to state level, to local government level, I beg your pardon, from local government level then to state level. At the local government level, nothing was done. They just moved it straight to the state level. And why that happened, they didn't allow, according to the PDP DG, they didn't allow them, the agent, to enter. And things were just going on. Okay. And we saw some things of those who were accredited in some centers, the figure, and those who voted were more than those who were accredited. So these are issues that INEC need to look into. Okay, thank you, Dr. Imeri. I do not hold brief for INEC, but you have just made a very potent statement that some of these allegations from the actors, those who participated in the election, political parties, that it is important for INEC to respond so that the people can really, their nerve can be calmed. They need to know what happened. Like I said, I do not hold brief for INEC, but I heard that in some areas, there were issues of security concerns, but I do not hold brief for them. INEC should explain, like you have said. But you have also made some revelations. Those are some of the allegations being raised by the different political parties, those who didn't win. If PDP had won, probably it would have been APC raising allegations. So now that APC won, PDP and other parties didn't win, they all have to cry out. Like what Bishop said. Yes. It was, in fact, I'm not a political, I don't belong to any political party. Yeah, I know that. When I speak, I'm speaking as my own opinion. Yes. Yeah. I align with what Bishop said. That's why I said, because that day, it was the highest bid I get in the day, because the only party that I can say that didn't give out money was Labour Party. among the 3 top contenders. Others where it was, in fact, it was, do we have this kind of money? Money was rolling everywhere. It was, you see, they just meet you, there's a way they tell you, just vote,
Yes.
But where I voted, in fact, the agents, it's like they were in alliance, that they've already made up their mind on what to do. The agent in general, not just one particular political party. It was like, okay, let this one have their way. So I called some persons. I said, why is it happening like this? They said, the governor promised us transformer. He didn't give us transformer. So let it go in this direction. Something else.
Those are allegations you can also substantiate on this program.
Yeah.
But the issue of vote buying, we are happy that on that day, ITV actually covered the Edo 2024 governorship election extensively. Reporters from ITV went to the nooks and crannies of Edo State. We must commend the management of ITV and radio for that, to the extent that even a former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshomole, saw ITV crew in Iyamo and said, ITV crew, you are here in this local area. Yes, ITV covered. And we're also able to cover during the live transmission of the conduct of the election, where EFCC officials arrested some persons alleged to have been involved in vote buying.
Okay.
So what you are saying is not strange. EFCC arrested some persons that day, alleged to be involved, because until the court pronounced them guilty, we can't really say they are guilty. So vote buying is one of the allegations in the just concluded election, like my guests have said. But we must take a step forward. And I'm going back to Bishop Lucky Omonabiese.
Thank you, sir.
How can we fine-tune our voting process and election, in your own opinion?
My opinion is that, number one, the INEC as a body should be free. Give them, everybody, play level ground to play the politics of Nigeria. No involvement. Then the INEC should be a body of its own. And they should have a budget given to the INEC, no federal government of the day that is ruling that time involved. Number two, the state also, everybody in government should stay out of INEC. Let everybody do it freely. Number two, three, this spending money on election, the buying people's conscience should be stopped. Until that one is stopped, how can we stop? We have to stop hunger first. The elite, the political class, the people that rule, they have made hunger a duty in Nigeria, that everybody need to be hungry. So that when you enter the field,
and you see 10,000.
and you see 10,000, 15, as it may be, and the man have noticed his money, have no choice. They have no choice. I saw a man do that day that he came with about 5 of his children. They have big boys. And the man was telling me that today is blessed. I said, how are you blessed? How are you blessed? And I tried to explain this to the man.
Well, the glory now.
The man is,
He said today is the last day of election.
I said, how are you blessed, sir? He was trying to, I want to explain this to the man about the future. He said, you're talking about the future. So, but now, there is he that sit to now and tomorrow is one that think of the future. You look at the way the political class have conditioned the Nigerians, that we most of all reason very in the wrong direction. And until they can take out hunger, insecurity and all, you see the both buying with a mail like this. And the political party knew that, the politicians knew that as far as there's hunger in the land, security remain in the land, they will always be having this issue of kind of election we have in Nigeria. Until they remove insecurity, and people can go to farm, people can do business peacefully, nobody can change both buying.
Thank you very much. Professor Joe Bodion, now it has happened. Allegations have been raised. We understand there are pockets of protests by PDP members and some politicians. But is that the way to go?
Okay, thank you. Well, it's not entirely out of place if you feel aggrieved to rent your voice or shout out about your grievances. Of course, how you do it is what is important. So you don't do it in a manner to trample other people's rights or create an atmosphere of insecurity and most of all threat to national security. So you can protest, peaceful protest, with your placard and all that, to express yourself, even though it carries no weight in the post-election arbitration process. It carries no weight. There's nothing in the Electoral Act that references a protest of voters or even those who didn't vote about the outcome of an election. The only person who can protest the result of an election is the candidate of the party. And your protest is also a formal protest by going to court, so which is the Election Petition Tribunal. So no matter of placard will make ANEC. ANEC is what we call functions official now. By Friday now, they cannot even touch anything. And they even issue the I will forget to say we issue the certificate of return, which means the administrative review that ANEC is enjoined to do by Section 60 of the Electoral Act has been overtaken by events by the issuance of the certificate of return. So the next point of call should be the Election Petition Tribunal. So pockets of protest here and there is just what I call showboating, but it's a fundamental right anyway. But another extent to which you do it, you are not trying to report sentiments, or probably trying to work on the emotional intelligence of the judges who have cause to try the election petition, because they're going to be watching you. Yeah, you are believing that your constant tirade on the media, complaining. The other one was crying on the live TV. See, that is what will change what has happened. So we have to be very pragmatic. There are layers of authority in electoral management. There are procedural issues, which we all are aware of. So when elections are concluded, like I said, beyond direct evidence of what has transpired, everything is speculative, based on what the media has said, based on hearsay, based on what people are doing on TV and all that. Even the reports of the electoral monitoring groups is still very persistent.
That's the observers.
Observers, sorry, it's persuasive.
Yanga has condemned the election.
They're all persuasive. They're not even admissible in court. They're not admissible because it carries no weight, what we call probative weight. If you have any pressure about the election petition, the election itself, the procedure across the 18 states, one of the 2 wards of Edo State, if you have anything that you think is tangible, and then you'll be prepared to come and testify before the judicial body, which is the Election Petition Tribunal. Beyond
How soon do we expect that?
21 days. The timeline is 21 days.
Okay.
So we expect that in the next 21 days, the parties that have expressed their dissatisfaction with the electoral process will file their petition. And I can assure you that even as we speak now, before the election starts, June, July, if not before, the Court of Appeal President has already empaneled the Election Petition Tribunal for Edo State and Ondo State, the 2 states that are going to be running neck to neck in the election. So the judges are waiting somewhere, waiting for you to file. Once you file, after a couple of weeks, you start what they call the pre-hearing sessions and all that. And lawyers will get busy again once more.
Okay, we'll come back to it. I can see that Professor Joe Ojo is warming up.
Yes,
He's a legal practitioner. The lawyers are warming up because this is their time.
Yes.
But the question I will ask after this break is, must we always depend on the courts to determine who occupies elective positions?
Okay.
That's the question we must answer.
Okay,
My guests, they are loaded to really dissect all the transpired in the conduct of the Edo 2024 election, and of course the way forward. It is very important. The election has been conducted. Despite the rainfall, voters went to the different polling units across Edo State to exercise their franchise. The outcome of it is the announcement of INEC announcing Monday Okpebholo, Senator Monday Okpebholo of the APC as the overall winner, closely followed by PDP and Labour Party in the 3rd position. Now, that conduct has culminated in the presentation of certificate of return, which is the legal document of authority given to Senator Monday Okpebholo. He is now governor-elect of Edo State, and Dennis Idahosa, deputy governor-elect of Edo State. Both of them are waiting, I can say very passionately, for November the 12th for them to be sworn in, so that the governor-elect can change to governor and deputy governor. Well, the way forward, Bishop Lucky Omonabese has made his position very clear. He has talked about the need for INEC to always get public confidence by ensuring free, fair, and credible elections at all times. And he has also said that INEC should not be dependent on government for budgets. They should have some level of independence, of financial independence, so that once the money is given to them, nobody controls them. You know, that is his own position. Dr. Ayemere, the way forward, how can we really strengthen our democracy? How can we really ensure that after every conduct of election, we don't wait for tribunals, we don't wait for courts to now eventually determine and say, oh, this is the winner. It's like once the court says, the Supreme Court, most of them, they get as far as the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court gives a verdict, that's the final. If they say, oh, this is the winner, that means it appears it's the Supreme Court that is now determining who occupies public office. Your vote is supposed to just determine that.
That's right.
If the political parties now, the agreed political parties, decide now not to go to court, there will be no legal problem. They will just start ruling. But I can assure you it's not going to be so. So what's the way forward?
Okay, thank you. Let me also add to what the Bishop said.
Yes.
You know, although we have had some elections, both in Nigeria and in Edo State, where those who lost didn't go to court.
Okay.
Good luck, Jonathan. He didn't go to court when he lost the presidential election to President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015. He considered defeat. In 2020, to the best of my knowledge, Pastor Osage Izeyamu, he didn't go to court when he lost that election to the current governor. There was no court case from him. It was other, maybe one or two parties that actually went to court. Though he may not congratulate the governor-elect then, but he didn't go to court. You see, like what I've always canvassed, if the process is good enough, there will be no need for those those candidates to go to court. First and foremost, our election, there's a department in INEC that has to do with voter education.
Yeah, correct.
During this election, we didn't see that. Because if you look at the statistics, about 530,000. If you add Labour Party, that's about 550-something thousand votes in a state that have more than 2 million collected PVCs. So that shows about 25% of those having PVC that voted. To tell that the level of voter education is very low. Why do I need to vote? A lot of people believe, oh, why do I need to vote? Why should I vote? What does my vote have to do in the development of my state? A lot of people do not know this, and that is where INEC voter education comes in. And our political party too, they are not helping matters because they just campaign, vote for me. They do not tell the electorate when they are campaigning why they need to vote as well. Because I think political parties should also have that department, not just INEC alone. Why the electorate need to vote for them. Then on the other hand, I think we need to take it further where there should be a legislation in that area whereby vote buying becomes a crime. And it should not just be something that is just price, it should be something that should be effective. Where vote buying becomes a crime, serious crime. And there should be a penalty to that. You see, until that is done, we are still where we are. As a matter of fact, I just pray we don't go backward. Because election come, election go. A nation that must grow must learn from the past history to know how to address it in the present situation so that it cannot occur again in the future. But we keep repeating cycle. We keep repeating. For every election, we are repeating. If we must move forward, I think apart from talking to government that there need to be a legislation in that area, then INEC to do voter education, yeah. I think the electorate needs to be aware also that if I sell my votes to the wrong person, I've put myself in prison again for another 4 years. Where it is not just government alone that will face this nation. All of us, we are the ones who will face it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll just quickly get the legal aspect now. From what Dr. Ayemere has said, I believe there's a penalty for vote buying. Those arrested by FCC will be prosecuted?
Yeah, definitely. I think we need to put this in a right
Yes.
perspective. You know, I'm going to talk globally, if you permit
Okay.
me. Before I go there, first and foremost, I want us to get this thing clear, because I'm here and I want to speak to, rationalize what judiciary does.
Okay.
It's not true that judiciary decides who is the governor or the president.
Okay. But by verdict.
Let me finish now.
Okay.
The courts do not decide who is the governor or the president.
Okay.
The voters have decided. The courts only validate what we decide on the polls. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah, so if there are irregularities, the PDP is complaining, if there are irregularities, if there's overvoting, if there's a mischief somewhere, malpractice somewhere, that now denies the mandate of people, the court merely restores it. Are you with me? Restores
Yes.
it. So when you say decided,
That's the legal lexicon.
that is true. So because if you didn't vote,
Yes.
there will be no election petition in the first place.
Okay.
So if you are saying, I scored 1,000 votes in this polling unit, but because INEC was bribed by this party D, they now suppress my vote to 500. Are you with me? If you now go to court and the court finds that you are correct, you're able to prove your case, the court merely restores the extra vote taken away from you also and adds it up. That's how
We saw that in Imo.
So when people say Imo governor is Supreme Court governor, and I remember a colleague was saying something, I told you, don't say that, because if we had dispute over land, we have land disputes, Supreme Court. If tomorrow the Supreme Court says I'm the truthful owner of the land, is it Supreme Court land? If tomorrow there's chieftaincy, the EWU chieftaincy has been on for about 20 years, 25 years. I was in the lecture at the moment that they have only resolved the Enogi of EWU after almost 25 years. Will you call that Enogi Supreme Court Enogi?
No.
So what are we talking about? So when Governor Jury of Bayelsa,
Yes.
he was made the governor when Lion King
Yes.
was disqualified on the eve of his swearing after doing rehearsal.
Yes.
Why are you not calling Governor Jury Supreme Court governor? So the courts merely
Restore.
pronounce on what it is and not even what it ought to be. If you voted for Party A as in Edo State now, and they are claiming that their votes were suppressed, there was rigging, what is it, IREV is different from what you have in the Form EC8.
Yes.
When time you succeed tomorrow, hopefully, if you succeed in the Supreme Court, and you are made a governor, will you accept the toga of Supreme Court governor? Well, that's one. Then secondly, we already have laws to punish electoral offences.
Yes.
You see, like I said, I served in the Ways Commission from the Edo State.
Okay.
Then I was working with the Attorney General of the state, and he nominated me. I was in that committee. I still have the recommendations more than 70 years ago. Part of the blueprint by Ways is what we are implementing gradually now. Gradually. And one of the post-script was electronic voting. We are not there yet. We are moving gradually. The last election, the Labour Party had a sing-song that the results were not posted on IREV real time. Real time, they call it real time, but not posted real time. This election was done real time. Nobody's complaining about it now. It was done real time. The allegation that what was posted is different from what we have at hand. But I say when you get to court, show us what you have at hand. How is different from that in the IREV? You have to prove it. Yes. But last year it was not uploaded at all. That was the case because they claimed there was glitches. But this in Edo State now, let somebody come and tell me there was any glitch and it was not posted. It was not. So we are improving gradually also. So it is a process. So we now wait for the Ondo State election. Let's see if INEC can perfect something. They are very slow and tardy. They're not doing well, no doubt. We have slow learners, we have fast learners, because we teach. But if a child is slow to learning, doesn't mean that he will not learn and become somebody in future. So INEC should also be encouraged. Why we give them the flack for being slow? But let's see what happens in Ondo State.
Okay.
So this bill
that's the next election.
Yeah,
now.
November.
The next election.
So by the time we're able to do this off cycle and we interrogate issues, of course, objectively, not with sentinel because I didn't win, my should be cut off. No, not like that now. Because the way here in Edo State, you had an INEC electoral commissioner rec who was in saddle for 1.5 years. 1.5 years. You saw remember he was Wike's cousin 2 weeks to the election. What did I tell you? It doesn't make any sense. So you should have protested that from the time it was protested. So let us interrogate, because it's my training to interrogate issues. So by November, let's see whether this vote buying, we are waiting for those to be arrested. I'm from Edo North.
Yes.
That is, I'm aware of it. We are watching. Let's see. The civil society, the CSOs, the bishops, the media, follow up those who are arrested at that polling unit trying to buy vote. If they are not prosecuted, you shout out, you call names. But if you sleep over it and they just focus on who one wouldn't win, then how do we improve the electoral process? Okay. So let them be arrested. There are laws. The Electoral Act has it. We have offenses there. You have a part, almost more than 30 sections on the various electoral offences.
Okay.
And the only thing that is left now, so that I don't forget this, very important, is that even electoral, that's a waste report
Yes.
17 years ago, it was recommended that we should have a special court for electoral offences. If we have a court for corruption matters, for EFCC courts, we should have a special court for electoral offences. So as this tribunal is looking at the cases for who won the election now, that's between the candidates and their party. Then those of them who went to rig election, went to manipulate, tampering, those who were buying vote, who were arrested, those who even sold too, because selling is also a crime to sell your vote too. It's corruption here. Let us see them arraigned in the dock, tried and convicted. Don't forget, my colleague, a professor, was convicted in one of the states in the East for involving electoral malpractice as a returning officer. As I speak to him, as on appeal, trying to obtain his conviction. The professor was convicted for trying to alter results. So it's a gradual thing. That's what I think we should do.
Thank you very much. And that's the reason why we have Professor Job Ojon in the studio today, and he has just justified that, because as a professor of law, much is expected from him, and he has done it. He has done justice to it. And I believe the viewer there, you are enlightened now. You are educated on the legal implications of all of these. And he has used the right legal lexicon that interprets
the role of the courts.
Understand very well. Because we are very quick to say, oh, it's the court that is now placing people in elective positions. And they have said no, that it can be either way, depend on what you present before the court. Don't forget that it is believed that the courts, they are blind.
Yeah, they are blind.
They
Yes.
are blind.
They remain blind.
So
Yes.
they remain blind.
Except you unveil the blindfold.
So, but some persons, well, see allege that Nigerian courts, one of the eyes are open.
The court is court. There's no Nigerian court. Courts globally are blind.
That they can see, but all the same, ideally, the courts are supposed to be blind to everybody. They don't know brother, father, friend. They just look at the evidence before them and they pronounce judgment. But having said that, some persons actually commended the security that was put in place during the conduct of the election. I must tell you, on Wednesday, that was yesterday, I saw trucks of troops leaving Benin City. That's to tell you that even the army, they were positioned in strategic
They worked well.
They worked very well. So they didn't allow people to move from other states and enter Edo State to come and vote. They didn't go to the polling units, but they were stationed. And about 35,000 policemen deployed by the IGP to Edo State for this election. So we saw policemen. Gentlemen, I think the security situation will start with Bishop Lucky. This is the kind of security we are asking, not only for election, but in Nigeria.
That day, I love the security situation, the way they protect, map our area of Edo State.
Okay.
You can see that no intruder, no issue. Nobody come from that state to interrupt this election, to involve himself. Now, if the security can be mapped up to handle all this our Boko Haram, Esme here and there, I tell you, this country will be better. We found that it is only an election that we see security. All I need to say, they tackle the security so we can have peace.
Thank you. Dr. Ayemere, a quick one, just your closing remarks.
All right, the elections have come and gone. I think all Edolites should come together. Let's build a greater Edo. If anybody feel aggrieved, any party feel aggrieved, there are channels to resolve those issues. Like Prof said, I think I will toe the line of Prof. There are channels to resolve those issues. You can take your issue to court if you feel you have a legitimate case. As a matter of fact, the PDP candidate is a lawyer.
Yeah, very senior.
He's a very senior lawyer. So if he feels that, I'm not satisfied, and he has evidence, he can go to court. Comrade Adams Oshomole, it was court that arrested.
Yeah, he's a beneficiary of the court process.
Doyo Diri of Bayelsa State. And we have some of them like that court gave, restored their mandate. So hope is not lost for him if he feels that he has a case. But at this time, politics is over. It's time to build the state. Thank you.
Yeah, but some persons are saying that both of them, as Dr. Aswa Igodalo of the PDP, Senator Mondo Pevolo of the APC, that they are both Ishan people.
Yes.
So why can't they just power has gone to Ishan land? Now why can't they celebrate that? But I know Prof will talk about that slightly. A quick one from you, Ayimere, you are an Ishan man.
Yes.
Now power has gone to Ishan people. So are they not happy for that?
I was one of those who canvassed that an Asian person should be given the opportunity to lead the state. And I know, not because I'm an Asian man, Asian people, we know they carry last. Let me use that language. For me, going to court is not the way forward now, because the time of going to court is like distraction to the governor in office when he's sworn in. We are brothers. We can talk this over and let's move the state forward. That's the most important thing.
Thank you. Prof, a quick one before we just conclude today's show.
Yes.
Now, they are both Ishan people.
Yes.
Should they just settle this amicably, or you still think that they should pursue their interests?
Okay, borrow from Ishan, my in-laws, my wife is an Ishan woman. Okay. Well, if they have the work of customary arbitration,
yes.
If all the no gates of East and land call the two gentlemen and say, you have lost, so we know you are not happy the way you lost, but it's our turn to rule. Let us put them together. Come and support your brother to succeed as a governor. It's okay, it's allowed. It's allowed. It's at least informal. It's informal though. But of course, these things go beyond the Eastern Central Group. Edo Central, it's a party issue. The party has a structure, and then there are interests too, both the voters' interests and of course the interest of those who supported him and all that. So it goes beyond the Eastern arrangement per se to persuade somebody to give up his right if he feels rightly aggrieved. But I think it is not something that is not doable. It's possible. It's possible. Customary arbitration is possible.
Okay. Bishop Lucky, before we just conclude today's program, we need to talk of this. Now, should they go to court, or now that power has moved to Ishan land, and the PDP candidate, Ishan, he took second position. The APC candidate, according to INEC, took first position. They are both Ishan. Should they not just resolve this out of court?
I will support what the Prof said. If the Royal Highness in their land, Edo Central, can come together, call their two lustrous sons, and talk to them and advise them, and they agree, no problem. But as party, people are involved, people that are involved, and will not just fold their hand. Then you have to call a stakeholder meeting to get that thing done. Okay. Otherwise, you will not get that thing within the two of them. You need to call stakeholder meeting to get it done. And it's not left for the Ishan people to make peace and prove to all that another adversary has come.
Okay, that's just the language. Bishop Locke has just said it. Because the Ishan, Edo Central, they've been yearning to have power shifts. Now they have it. And I must tell you, any candidate that didn't field Ishan candidate before the election, we had people talking. Do anything could have happened because the voters have the power. They could vote a Benin man, they could vote a non-Benin man. The voters, they were free to vote for their preferred candidate. INEC has announced, we have an Ishan man, first position. He's now governor-elect. Senator Monday Okpewolo, we say congratulations on this program but a PDP man took second position by INEC announcement. So it's now left for both parties, or all parties involved. Anybody that is aggrieved can go to court. But if they decide to say, okay, the two parties, Ishan, APC, PDP Ishan, and they decide not to go to court, it is also good. We just need peace. And that's what the governor of Edo State must also congratulate Governor Gordon Obaseki for that broadcast. He said there should be peace. And Dr. Aswa Igodalo also said there should be peace, that there are several ways that they can exploit. On that note, I say thanks for being a part of 60 Minutes Nigeria, this week's edition. My name is Egosa Agbolao. We'll be talking with Professor Joe Bodion. Professor Joe Bodion wants the court to wake up because this is the time for the lawyers to be busy. Thank you very much for your time and for all the educative comments. I want to thank Bishop Lucky Omonabiese. You have been very outspoken. I believe that government should listen to some of these said so that we can have perfect election if there's anything like that. Dr. Imeri, thank you very much for your time. That's the show. Do have a wonderful weekend ahead. Bye-bye.